Okay, welcome to 8.6, which is talking about properties of real numbers. The first section we're going to talk about is commutative property, and I've got two sections of this, addition and multiplication. So I'm just, on this, the addition, you take your a plus b and equals b plus a. And the reason why we do this, think about this for a second. I'm going to put numbers in here. So if I do 4 plus 5, what the commutative property is saying is 4 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 4. Because, if we think about this, 4 plus 5 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9. It doesn't matter the order. The commutative property means you're just adding them in a different order, but it's the same answer. Same thing with multiplication. Let's do a is 2 and b is 3. Okay? So if that's the case, the order switches, so b is 3 times a is 2. But notice something. What's 2 times 3? It's 6. It's the same as 3 times 2. That is the commutative property of addition and multiplication. Just showing you it doesn't matter the order you add them or multiply them in. Associative property means basically is kind of a grouping method. Notice this. If I put in, say, 1 plus 2 plus 3, now look what your m is 1 plus n is 2 plus 3. Now notice this. Does it really matter? Well, if you add up your numbers, take a look at your parentheses first. Okay? Now your parentheses is going to be different. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. But then you add 3 and add 1. Notice what they do. They both equal 6. So the addition property of the addition part of the associative property is this: you're just switching the orders of the parentheses. So your m plus n is in the first parentheses, but then your m gets kicked out and your p joins the parentheses. Same thing with multiplication. I'll put in some different numbers. Let's just say for m we used 2, n is 3, times p is 4. Well, the order would be m is 2, because it gets kicked out of the parentheses. My n is 3 times 4 is p. 2 times 3 is 6 times 4, which comes out to be 24. But then 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. They both are the same. So it's basically saying it doesn't matter the order. Distributive property. Most of us already have seen this. All the distributive property means whatever's outside of the parentheses gets distributive in the parentheses by multiplying. So 4 times m is 4m. Then I'd say plus 4 times 2. So my answer is, well, 4 times m, we don't know what m is, so it's 4m. And 4 times 2, since that's positive, it's plus 8. Now, negative 1, and you distribute that the same way. Negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. A negative 1 times a negative m, two negatives in this case makes a positive, plus m. And then I've got negative 1 times a positive gives me a negative, so it's negative 2y. Okay, so finally, we've got two identities. Identity element of addition, and we've got an identity property of multiplication. Basically, what these identities mean is if I give you this right here, it's 0 plus 7 is 7, and the identity property of multiplication is what times negative 6 gives me negative 6? Well, it's a positive 1. Same thing with this element of addition. I mean, this could be technically, okay, -8. Well, that 0, that would be 0 minus 8, still gives you a -8. Okay, thank you for listening. Be looking out for my section 8.7, which is simplifying expressions. Thank you for listening.